chemistry with Mark.
Sandberg knew exactly how Google had made a fortune from advertising. On the very day Facebook was launched at Harvard, Sandberg was explaining to BBC viewers why Google's advertising system worked so well.
With Google, you are on the web searching for information, and we give you an ad as part of that search. So it's integral to what you're all looking for.
Google offers advertisers the chance to put their message in front of people who are ready to buy at that very moment.
Let's say I'm looking for Panama ads today. Here I go. Panama ads direct. A very specific search looking for a very specific product. And the advertiser is able to find me, and I'm looking for that product.
Sandberg's challenge was to come up with Facebook's version of the Google money machine.
We don't compete in the search market. We are not competing for the Google ad dollars in search marketing, in the sense that when you are looking for a product, you don't actually come to Facebook, you go to Google.
According to Sandberg, Facebook ads, like TV or magazine ads, are there to tempt you with new products and ideas.
Where we are is actually in demand generation. So when you think about your TV ads that are shown to you, other ads that are shown to you, you're not in active searching mode for something to buy. You're not fulfilling demand. You're actually generating demand, something you didn't know you needed. And when you think about what people are doing on Facebook, they're much more in discovery mode.
So could the fact that Facebook users aren't searching for products or services turn out to be an advantage for advertisers? BJ Fogg is a psychologist who specializes in online behavior.
For most things you're doing on the computer, you're trying to get a task done. Okay, you're trying to buy an airline ticket, you're trying to book a hotel, you're trying to buy some shoes. A to B. I just want to go, buy the shoes, and get off and go on with my life. Facebook is different in that you don't go to Facebook to accomplish a single goal. You go to Facebook to wander around. So from an advertiser perspective, people are there at Facebook to get distracted and to be intrigued by something. So it makes Facebook a special kind of platform. It's a platform where users will tolerate distractions.
At Harvard, internet business models are studied by Professor Ben Edelman. He is more skeptical about advertising on Facebook.
They're hoping that advertisers will bet on the future value of a customer, even if in the short run the customer actually doesn't buy much of anything at all. If one accepts ephemeral value that's hard to measure, possible future value as reasons to conduct the advertising, then it certainly is possible to justify. Of course, that could justify just about anything. Advertise on the far side of the moon, and when the aliens finally get here, they'll know what they need to buy.
In comparison with Google, Facebook undeniably holds one trump card, which is already proving profitable.
Facebook is probably the most valuable market research tool that's ever existed. In a way, it's the most valuable research tool for anything about people that has ever existed.
Facebook lets advertisers reach large numbers of just the people they want, which could make it more cost-effective than other media. So when you place an ad, you can narrow down the population of users. In Britain, for instance, you might want to target just women, or women with a particular interest like beauty, or even within that group, those who are engaged. That rare ability to target advertising has spawned a new kind of agency, turning out Facebook ads on an industrial scale. TBG is a London company specializing in Facebook ads. Its boss, Simon Mansell, believes he's part of a big change in advertising.
It's turned much more from an art form to more of a science, and I think that's sometimes where some of the big traditional companies have struggled a little bit, because they were artists and now they have to try and be scientists.
TBG doesn't rely on creatives to guess what people will respond to. Instead, its software runs mass experiments on many possible versions of a Facebook ad.
Even though the ads are small, there's 3 different parts of the ad: the headline, the image, and the little piece of copy for most Facebook ads. And there's 12 different targeting criteria: age, gender, relationship status. So what you multiply those up, there is thousands of different permutations.
TBG typically tries 27,000 variants on an ad. Charlotte Knights is working on a campaign for Heineken, promoting a sponsored music festival in Poland.
Initially, when we look at it, we can see that this image here is outperforming this this image.
Then TBG decides who should be shown which version of the ad.
What our software does is it will work out which ad variant works best for which audience. So it might be that a 25-year-old in New York City who likes cats responds differently to a 33-year-old male in London who likes dogs.
Facebook knows about its users from what they have done on the site.
So your ad can specifically go towards this specific age group, this specific gender, this kind of person, and if you sort of say, I like Heineken, or I had a really nice Heineken earlier, then it will take it from that.
Facebook's advertising revenue is expected to top $3 billion this year. But there are still some in the ad business who question Facebook as a new advertising medium.
The primary interaction here is a social interaction, it's a social network. It's not a commercial network. And therefore, I think you use it commercially at your peril. The potential of Facebook is more, in my mind, as a public relations medium than it is as a in-your-face advertising medium.
So should businesses be part of Facebook if people are only using it to chat?
I think we're well on our way to finding a very protective balance of providing people with information that they want to receive from their friends, recognizing that most people, when they're in the course of their Facebook experience, are not focused on purely commercial activities. Indeed, if you compare us to any online service, any newspaper, I think the percentage of space devoted to commercially related or commercially, oriented messages is tiny.
If the first part of Facebook's business strategy is to sell ads, the second is to let businesses set up their own Facebook pages. Pages act pretty much like people on Facebook, but instead of being a friend of a business, you can like it, which means you're agreeing to get messages from it, just as you do from friends. Nearly 35 million people like Coca-Cola. Rather than being the passive recipients of ads, when people like Facebook pages, they're choosing to link themselves to brands and products. Managing those relationships is a new kind of marketing. Here in New York, Buddy Media helps big businesses talk to millions of people who like them on Facebook.
If you're one of the top advertisers in the world, we work with 8 out of the top 10 global advertisers, you may have 400 brands and you may do business in every country and every language. So what you need is the ability to really manage all this content globally, and you cannot do it without software. And then on top of that, we tell them what's working, what's not working, how do you really optimize what's going on, how do you get the right content to the right people.
Companies try to get chatting to their Facebook fans because when anybody responds, what they've said and the company's name will be automatically spread to all their Facebook friends.
So now Pretzel Crisps is doing things like posting recipes of ways to eat pretzels and then asking questions and asking people to comment on these recipes. You can see people are starting to engage. In this case, 174 people have actually engaged in this conversation about these recipes, which you'd never be able to do that anywhere else.
Marketing people call it word of mouth at scale.
Social media for the last million years has been about just word of mouth. So even when the wheel was created, people said, whoa, the wheel is here, you gotta check this thing out. And so that obviously spread like wildfire, but it took time to go in a community and then to another community. With Facebook, it spreads instantaneously.